Hello, boys and girls. It's story time with Uncle Mike. Today's story is Cinderella. Once there was a girl named Ella who was good and kind and beautiful. But her stepmother was vain and selfish, and her two stepsisters were just as bad. They made Ella do all the hard work. Since she was often covered in dirt and cinders, they called her Cinderella. One night, the prince was having a grand ball, but Cinderella's stepmother would not let her go. Alone and lonely, Cinderella began to cry. Her tears were falling freely when her fairy godmother suddenly appeared. Tapping things with her magic wand, the fairy godmother changed the pumpkin into a splendid coach. 6 mice turned into horses, and a rat became the coachman. Then the fairy godmother touched Cinderella with her wand. Instantly, instead of rags, Cinderella wore a pink gown and silver slippers. Smiling, the fairy godmother said, "Do not stay late at the ball, my dear, for at the stroke of midnight the magic will end, and all will be as it was before." When Cinderella arrived at the ball, everyone stopped to stare. Her stepsisters, who did not recognize her, were jealous. The prince thought Cinderella was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen, and he asked her to dance all through the night. She was having so much fun, she forgot to think about the time. Bong, bong, bong. The clock began to strike midnight. Suddenly, Cinderella ran out the door and down the steps. One of her silver slippers fell off, but she kept running. As the clock struck 12, her beautiful gown turned to rags, and her coach disappeared. All she had left was one silver slipper. The prince was very sad. When he found a silver slipper on the palace steps, he and his men traveled throughout the kingdom, trying the slipper on every lady's foot. At last the slipper was brought to Cinderella's ugly stepsisters. They pinched their heels and curled their toes, but the slipper didn't fit. Then Cinderella said softly, "May I try?" The prince ran in to find that the slipper fit her perfectly. When he took one look into Cinderella's good, kind face, he knew she was his princess. It was a grand wedding. Cinderella and her prince danced well past midnight, and they enjoyed each other's company ever after. And that's the story for today. Stay tuned for more videos, more story time with Uncle Mike.